The Legend of Run DMCs Immortal Christmas in Hollis, as remembered by the people who made it. It was written by Patrick Sauer, and it was published last year on 12/23. So, in 1987, for those of us who are alive and remember, which me and Quinn definitely probably do, Run DMC was, beyond a doubt, the biggest hip-hop act in the world. Well, in the country at least, but probably the world.
They were a mainstream rap group, which was not a thing.
No, they were the first rap group that, I mean, there were other rap groups, obviously, at the time, but that was the one that broke in the mainstream. That was the one 90% of people who knew anything about rap knew rap through Run DMC.
Right.
So their producer, Bill Adler, approached them about doing a song for an album that was called A Very Special Christmas, which was a compilation album to help Special Olympics.
Yeah. I had that album, by the way.
Okay, cool. They declined doing it. According to Daryl McDaniels, who is DMC, quote, "Walk This Way was a top 5 hit, and people still asked, so Run DMC, where do you think you'll be in 5 years when this fad ends? We thought they wanted to make a joke of this hip-hop thing with a Christmas song. We didn't want to do anything corny. Hell no, we weren't going to do a fucking Rudolph rhyme." So then Joseph Run Simmons, who's Run from Run DMC, says, "I got a call from Bill. Whenever he called, you knew something had to be done. I'm smoking my weed, eating breakfast, doing what I do. And he says, Joe, there's this holiday record you have to make. It's for the Special Olympics. He's trying to explain this to a high guy. And I'm like, what do I got to do? Bill said, write a Christmas record. Talk about what happens in Hollis. DMC, quote, "They told us Bruce Springsteen, Whitney Houston, U2, Madonna, all these huge stars were going to be on it. We knew it was good company, so we decided to go along with it. The truth is, Run and I still weren't feeling it." So their producer, Bill Adler, brings in a giant crate full of Christmas albums. And Jam Master Jay, who is the DJ for Run DMC, starts going through them. When he dropped onto Clarence Carter's Backdoor Santa, his expression didn't change. He was deadpan. But the second time he played it for 15 seconds, and the third time he got even... There it is. It's a great song.
Good shit, man.
It's a great song. So it says the third time he got even deeper into it, and here Run and D come floating into the room, wafting in like cartoon birds. Right away, they knew Backdoor Santa was the one. It's a perfect soul track because it wasn't totally underground, but it also wasn't one you'd hear in department stores every December.
Right.
DMC says, quote, "We weren't feeling it until Jam Master Jay played that beat. We laid down the track all in one day. I think we got there around 3:30 and left at 6. The sun was still up." DMC, quote, "We typically wrote our rhymes separately, which worked so well on Christmas and Hollis because we went in totally different directions. Run told this crazy story about Santa Claus in our neighborhood park, and I told the story of what the holidays were actually about growing up in my house. Christmas had a magical quality to it, but more of a Jimmy Stewart It's a Wonderful Life way than a ho, ho, ho. Ever since kindergarten, my mother and father made it clear they were Santa Claus. They worked hard all year to provide us with presents, and no way some fat white man was getting the credit."
That's awesome.
Runs its fantasy, mine is reality. Run, quote, "The idea is I'm supposed to be thinking I'll keep the money I found in Santa Claus's wallet I found in the park. I have to make a decision. I'm not going to steal from Santa Claus. So I came up with I was going home to mail it back to him that night because my soul won't rest if I don't figure out how to get all the money back to this imaginary thing I saw in Hollis. When I got home, I bugged because under the tree was a letter from Santa and the dough was from me. The lyrics came quick, 15, 10, make it 7 minutes later. There was egg on the paper. When I called Bill back sweating, I just wrote the best rhyme of my life." DMC, I always overwrote. So the last third, where we come together, was my rhyme. I ended on, we want to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Everything about the song was untraditional, and it takes people places they'd never been, so I thought we should go out with the very basic idea of the holidays. Honestly, we thought the song would get buried for eternity. Like in the future, it would be hip-hop trivia. Did you know Run DMC was on a very special Christmas? We had no idea what was coming. So then, obviously, you got the video, which I felt like was on MTV all the time.
Yeah.
So DMC says, quote, "That is my mom in the video, Banna McDaniels, and yes, that is her cooking. When we were on the Raising Hell tour, they had to fly us back to New York for the shoot. Michael Holman, who was the director of the video, reached out to her. I walked in and was like, Mom, what the fuck are you doing here?" DMC, quote, "One thing that really works in the video is we didn't dress up in funny costumes. The surroundings are silly and colorful, but all our clothes are real b-boy shit. It's strategically placed hip-hop imagery that doesn't disrespect holiday traditions. Holman was so clever and innovative. Christmas in Hollis doesn't overkill or underkill." So the video went on to win the Rolling Stones Video of the Year, which beating out Bad, which was directed by Michael Scorsese, which I had completely forgotten that Michael Scorsese. I mean, fucking Michael Scorsese. Jesus Christ.
That his younger brother.
Yeah, that's Michael.
Well,
Michael
we couldn't
Scorsese.
get Martin, so let's get Michael Scorsese.
Was Frank Stallone in it?
Yeah, well, you know, the song "Bad" by Martin Jackson. Jesus Christ. Let me have some more of my cocktail.
Michael Scorsese. That's great.
My favorite director is, I think Michael Scorsese is my favorite director. The song received even more Christmas cachet after being featured in what Christmas classic?
Die Hard. Die Hard. This is Christmas music.
I'm sorry, what?
Started at 22 in the U.S. In 2000, it re-charted on the Billboard Hip Hop at 87 on the hip hop charts at 87.
Why?
They did some kind of a Christmas special where they played it.
Okay.
And it recharted. DMC, quote, "The big Run DMC 3 are always Walk This Way, It's Tricky, and Christmas in Hollis.
Yeah.
I am only sure that the last one will live on generation after generation. It's like having a new hit record every year. 17 million views on YouTube. I'm speechless." DMC.
Jesus.
Yeah. DMC. "My mother passed away 6 Thanksgivings ago, so the last few years we have had different Christmas meals. One year we did seafood, another we went to the steakhouse trying to change it up, but man, it ain't the same. Every year I'm reminded, because I wrote that rhyme, Mom would have had us eating chicken and collard greens, rice and stuffing, macaroni and cheese. It's what she would want, so I'm stuck with that meal. We'll probably have it again. It's our tradition, but now it's yours too. A few years ago, somebody said something to me I'd never considered. He said, D, do you realize the least likely song to have been recorded in the first place is now a permanent part of the holidays? For the rest of eternity, Christmas is going to be Bing Crosby, Nat King Cole, and Run DMC."
Yeah.
Reverend Run, quote, "Do I believe in Santa Claus? What type of question is that? It's not even a question. Of course there's a Santa Claus. I wouldn't be here in his house. We wouldn't have no heat on if there wasn't a Santa Claus. Everything is Santa Claus."